Welcome back to What's the Obsession, covering the University of Idaho quadruple murder to help ensure that complete justice is found for the 4 victims of the horrific crime and their families. This is an excerpt of an interview with Kaylie Conclave's mother and her sister, Alevia. Now, Alevia worked up a timeline of her own, as you're going to hear her talking about. This excerpt is all about her mother and sister talking about the timeline. So I really just want to get this information out there on as large of a scale as possible. I think the 15 minutes that is the discrepancy between law enforcement's timeline and Kaylie's sister's timeline could be a really big deal, guys. This could determine whether or not a person who might actually have some critical information that they don't know that they have, it could determine if they pay attention, if they tune in, if they contact law enforcement, if they mention something that's just sitting with them a little strangely, but they're like, it's probably not a big deal. If an accurate timeline is presented to the public, then people can have an understanding about what they may have witnessed, who they may have run into, what they may have seen that they're not consciously aware of. I think Kaylie's sister Alevia is freaking awesome. Just listen to her talking here. She really nailed this timeline, and in fact, I updated my own timeline to reflect Alevia's timeline because the information that she presented to support her timeline is completely solid.
First off, the map that just came out from police, it gives a little bit of a timeline of where they may have been that night. Does that map mesh up with the timeline that you've been putting together?
Yeah, I'd say it's very close. I'd say if you have any closer details to kind of hone in, 145 could be very vague. Maybe it's closer to, 150. Let us know if you have anything concrete, because right now concrete's what we can go off of.
In terms of the details, you said it's close. Mm-hmm. Does that frustrate you that it's close?
I do, but right now we're still trusting authorities that, it's not going to be 20 minutes here, 15 minutes here that's breaking this. But yeah, I implore everyone, if they know something different, bring it to the police, because if they want to tighten up that timeline, we stand with that.
It seems like there's this very big gap when it comes to Ethan and Xana. Do you know where they might have been?
I don't, unfortunately. I know nothing about them.
We have no idea where they were, but we do have a pretty tight timeline on Kaylie and Maddie, and it is close to what they are posting, but it is a difference, and that difference actually could be huge. I mean, it could be, it could not be, but 145, 159. So there is, and we have corroborated with my phone records, Kaylie's phone records, the driver that was driving them around.
So you
really concrete.
You have pulled video seeing the Uber driver dropping them off.
Yes.
You've checked your phone records.
Yes.
Timestamps, what time they got home. Yeah. It's not exactly what police
45.
Kaylie and Maddie were picked up from their home at 1122 King around 10:15. It's about a 5-minute drive down. So they arrived to Corner Club around 10:20, which is different than what was released at 10. We know that Kaylie called for an Uber at 1:45. He arrived at 1:49, got in the car around 1:50. It's about a 5-6 minute drive. They arrived home at 1:56.
Is it frustrating that your timeline is based on timestamps from videos and phone records, and their timeline doesn't exactly match yours?
I just feel like there's a reason they're just putting it out, the estimate. I don't know, because they do have that information from us, and they've asked us where we have gotten that information, and we have concrete backing. She put it together.
It could be conflicting stories. don't know. This is the information
And
that
I-
I stand behind.
I think that when they say 1:45, I think they're kind of referring to the whole group arriving approximately 1:45. I believe that maybe Ethan and Zamet, and I don't know, may have gotten home around that time. And then the girls, obviously 1:59-ish is shortly after. So they're just kind of grouping that the group arrived home around 1:45-ish. But they were not together. And we don't know anything about Ethan and Xana. We do know about Kaylie and Maddie.
And some of the time stamping afterwards, that your sister was making calls, right?
Mm-hmm.
She was making calls as late as almost 2 o'clock.
Yes.
Yeah.
How do you know that?
So she was on my mom's cell plan. So
We pulled my cell plan.
on Sunday, I was able to pull those cell records.
And you could see that she was calling somebody out.
Yeah.
Does it seem like they may have been involved, or does it seem like
No.
No, not at all. Kaylie had no shame in kind of power calling. So it fits Kaylie.
Yeah, no. Yeah. And we know who she was calling. And this person is, and this person was asleep, unfortunately, was not getting the calls. And it was, I don't know, a few calls for half an hour. She called him a couple times. But no, it was not, we do not believe she was calling him for help. We believe that she was just calling him to come over. If Kaylie was in imminent danger, her or Maddie, they would have called 911. They would not have been calling this person. Yeah.
And that was
So
around 2.
Yes. So at that time, we
Started
believe,
around 2:30.
yeah, we believe that the girls were just fine.
So from those phone records, it looks like the girls may have been alive around 2:30.
2:30 is what the last call.
No, the last call is shortly before 3 a.m.
Sure. Yeah, that's right. 2:50 something.
2:52 for both of them.
Yeah.
Wow, guys, what do you think? Please leave a comment letting us know what you think. We want to know what you think. I'm going to tell you what I think. I think that Kaylie's sister, Alevia, is freaking badass, right? She's amazing. If and when justice is served for these 4 victims and their families, I have a feeling it's going to have a lot to do with what Alevia has done to make the timeline accurate.